Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Shares of Tesla have gone up a lot in the last month, which is enough to make them positive for the year and reignite its case as one of the Magnificent Seven. Dear Joseph is looking more closely at what has changed at the core of things. Dear talked about the big rise in stock prices on today's Tech Check with Kelly. You also said that the basics haven't changed much. It is expected that sales and earnings will grow much less than those of the other six megacaps in the current quarter. The only one whose sales growth is expected to slow this quarter is Tesla, which is back in the Magnificent Seven. Earnings are expected to drop by 34%. In the past month, Tesla stock has had a huge rise, going back up and now being positive for the year. We'll talk more about that soon. But first, bears always come out when Tesla's stock price goes up to say that the company is overvalued. This has been said for almost 15 years. Tesla is going through some big changes. Before we get into the specifics, please show your support by liking this video and subscribing to Tesla Stock News. Let's start. Tesla stock went up 27% last week, making up for all the losses in 2024. Our next guest, on the other hand, thinks that Tesla will face similar problems next year with more competition. Listen to Tony Saccogi, who is a senior research analyst at Bernstein. Tony thinks Tesla will underperform and wants the price of each share to reach $120. That's right, each share costs $120. To give you an idea, Tesla's stock is worth more than twice that amount right now. Tony has been writing about Tesla for almost 10 years. In early 2017, Tesla stock was worth $16 per share after the split. By October 2019, the stock wasn't going anywhere, so Tony told people to hold on while others bought a lot as the price doubled. He kept telling them to hold. Around this time, this YouTube site began to give hints about Tesla's abilities. After the stock price went up, Tony told everyone to sell, sell, sell. Tony thinks Tesla is worth only half of what it is now. For example, Tony said to hold on to Tesla stock in July 2020 when it was worth $96 per share. Tesla has grown its business by a huge amount since then. Tony, do you really think that the value of the business hasn't gone up in the last 3 years? Tony's predictions about Tesla have been wrong. He has told investors to hold on to their shares when they should have been buying and selling for more than 3 years. He has never told anyone to buy the stock, not even when it was almost $100 per share. Hey, Tony, Tesla had a great run. Its price went up 25% last week and almost 40% in the last 2 weeks. It's selling at 125 times earnings, even though deliveries are down 5% this quarter and 9% last quarter. This is because results were better than expected. People are looking forward to changes and are excited about an event in early August with robo-taxis. Here's a question for you, viewers. Do you think Tony just sees Tesla as a car company? His statements are mostly about delivering vehicles. Will he talk about Tesla's chance to make a robo-taxi progress in AI, or the future of lifelike robots, or just a car company in his mind? Tony says that the stock's rise is mimetic and that the valuation is not based on truth when he talks about his $120 per share goal. This is an easy way out, even though you'll miss out on 10-15x gains since you sold the stock. He says that small buyers are to blame because they bought a meme stock without thinking about it. But if you keep making the same point and the market doesn't agree with you for almost 10 years, you might be wrong. How long should we wait before we tell Tony that he might not understand how much Tesla is worth? 6 months, a year? But it's time to think again after 10 years. There are stocks that lose touch with reality, like the SPAC craze, but they usually get back on track quickly. Since then, many of those stocks have dropped by 92 and 99%. Tony's defense is that his point that the valuation doesn't match reality might make sense if Tesla were just a car business. But Tony seems to be the one who isn't in touch with reality. Even though the company should have made $7 per share this year based on factors, most analysts now think it will only make $2. The stock price is still high, though. It's all about the excitement about possible future changes and big news like the robo-taxi. He says that stock prices are usually linked to future cash flows, and he thinks that Tesla's current share price doesn't match up with how much money it makes. Tony probably doesn't think that self-driving cars and robo-taxis will make a big difference in Tesla's future cash flows, or he wouldn't have set his goal at $120 per share. Someone must have thrown Tesla at Tony 10 years ago and thought, "Hey, you know cars, right? You can have this one." Tony says it's only a car company over and over again. But you have to admire Tony's strong beliefs. He sticks to his price goal even though it means missing out on huge profits because he thinks he's correctly valuing the company. He always says the wrong thing, but he's constant. Tony knows that he would change his outlook and price goal if Tesla became the leader in self-driving cars or built a successful humanoid robot business. He doesn't think that will happen, though. Self-driving cars are still a long way off, and he thinks Tesla won't be the only company to solve the problem. Tony doesn't believe Tesla's progress with full self-driving, FSD, and doesn't pay attention to the many videos of people driving for long amounts of time without using their hands. He says that the software's features don't matter since Tesla isn't officially driving self-driving cars anywhere, but Tesla could probably set up geofencing so that their cars could drive themselves in small places like some San Francisco blocks if they wanted to. They hadn't asked the government for permission yet because they want the spread to be as safe as possible. The real problem is that Tony's research doesn't take into account how far Tesla's self-driving technology has come and how much it could grow. He only looks at his numbers and doesn't see the bigger picture. Tony might finally see the light once Tesla gets permission from the government, but until then he doesn't see the big steps forward that Tesla is making right in front of him. Tony keeps saying that Tesla won't be good at fully autonomous driving. He doesn't think the company will be able to get the exclusivity it needs to justify its high value, but pay attention to what Tony says when he can quickly add Tesla to his spreadsheet. Let's keep our attention on Tesla's price rise and more news from CNBC. This rise is big enough to make the stock positive for the year, which could help it get back into the Magnificent Seven. Tesla's fundamentals haven't changed much, even though the stock price has gone up a lot. Instead, they expect their sales and earnings to grow much less than those of the other six megacaps this quarter. Tesla is the only one of the Magnificent Seven whose sales growth is expected to slow down this quarter. Earnings growth is expected to drop by 34%. Stock prices in Tesla don't usually depend on fundamentals, though. Instead, they depend on momentum and the promise of technology breakthroughs that only Musk can deliver. Now that Tesla seems to be back on track, it's very important for the company to explain its AI plan, especially NVIDIA's part in it, when it reports on July 23rd. Since a few years ago, Tesla has bought and used tens of thousands of NVIDIA GPUs to build a strong AI hub. Not long ago, Musk revealed that he sent some of those GPUs to his private companies X and tsla instead of Tesla. Even though there were some false stories, Tesla couldn't use the GPUs right away because the infrastructure wasn't ready. Musk said that Tesla's facilities for these GPUs were still being built, so the GPUs were sent to tsla so that they could be used right away while Tesla takes the next spot. Musk gave an update on July 4th, saying that the building of Tesla's supercomputer cluster at Gigafactory was almost finished. In other words, Tesla couldn't have used the GPUs earlier because the technology needed to do so wasn't ready yet. Moving on to another story we're keeping an eye on this morning. TSLA's stock is moving right now. The carmaker is taking a break after a ninth straight day of gains on Monday. The price has been going up since late April when it hit its lowest point. Since then, it has gained more than 75%, wiping out its losses for the year. Musk will almost certainly stress that Tesla is an AI company as well as a car company during the results call. Investors will want to know what's going on with the AI plan and the GPU deployment. Also, the robo-taxi event on August 8th is coming up in 1 month. Wedbush sees this as the yellow brick road to full self-driving and a driverless future. It's important to note how well this fits with Tony's doubt. It's not clear to Tony how to get to independence, but Wedbush talks about opening the way for it. Bears and bulls on Tesla stock have very different ideas about the company. Bears think of it as a car company, while bulls think of it as an AI company. Musk and his team need to explain what those GPUs are used for and how Tesla is an AI business. Dira, you make a very good point. Tesla's future depends on how well it can convince people of its AI and other technical advances, which Tony doesn't seem to get at all. As always, the next few months will be very important for Tesla's story and the direction of its price.